Alright guys, we're coming back into Caverns of Xaskazien version 4.43. Load a game. So just so we're aware of the timings of these games, when I looked at the executable for version 3.21, it said it was made in 2006. So that'd be about 2 years after, apparently, the executable for version 2. So, whoops, son of a bitch. I moved too fast. Okay, well, we went into it, and that's what happened. As you can see, it leaves behind an arch. In version 3, it might not have done so. So we have no spells. That's a bad place for a spellcaster to be, isn't it? Walk a little slower, Jeff. So if our overall understanding of... let's kill him before we get gold. Okay. Oh, good. Well, because we have no intelligence, let's raise our... No spells, rather. Let's raise our dexterity so we can at least have some combat going on this level. So if we're right about how that whole sequence of events went down, I know for sure the DOS version 2 was undeniably the version before or in and around, or rather before we switched over to the boss library that Jeff Schiller provided. That is, I think, a teleporter. Telepad. The squirrel will teleport you to its sister square somewhere on this level. Stepping on the sister square will teleport you back here. Monsters are unaffected by telepads. There we go. Oh, that's an armor merchant. Let's go back to him and see what he says. Entering Armor Merchant Square will allow you to buy a random piece of armor. So this is how it worked in the past. Nowadays, if you went to an armor merchant in Caverns 2, it would actually have a list of here's what he's selling, and you could choose what you want to buy. Back then, because I had limited space to put the text, and because I hadn't hit on another system, he'll have a random piece he'll offer you. It'll be like, maybe here's some cloth armor, maybe here's plate armor, or maybe here's magic armor that has this ability. And you can buy it if you have the gold. If you say no, you don't want to buy that, he'll take that off the table, and there's a 1 in 6 chance he'll leave. But if you step on his square again, if he doesn't leave, if he leaves the level. If you step on his square again, he'll offer you a totally different randomly created piece of armor. So it'll always be the equivalent of something you could find on the level in terms of its power. Oh, there's a potion merchant up top too. That's a potion merchant up here. He'll do the same thing. He'll, as far as I know, he'll give you offer a random potion. If you say no, then he might leave, I think is how it works. Didn't say that for him. So we were talking about the version numbers, yeah. When we saw version number 2, it claimed it was from 2004, the executable, which I guess is plausible. But I certainly wouldn't have been using a DOS-based computer in 2004. So if that's accurate, there was something else that came along after I made the switch from DOS to Windows that actually prevented me from using Borland libraries. Maybe it was an upgrade, like maybe I switched from, I don't know, Windows 95 to Windows, what was it, XP? Whatever came after Windows 95. And that would no longer allow Borland to run. Maybe that's the possibility. Whatever the reason was, at some point I switched away from Borland libraries, and that's what lost us the ability to work on the game. But if it was truly in 2004, if that's the case, then it's unlikely it was a switch just from... Not unlikely, it's impossible it was a switch just from DOS to Windows, because I made that switch out in... well, I guess in around 95. I remember I made the switch specifically because I wanted to play Civilization 2. That's why I bought a new computer that used Windows. But anyways, so we're not 100% sure on what sponsored the change from Borland to Microsoft, or if those dates are correct, 2004. Maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe that's the date that Jeff Schiller uploaded it to the website or something. I have no idea. It's an aberration. What was I saying? This version of the game, 4.43, no. Version 3, on the other hand, came about in 2006, according to when the executable of 3.21 came about in January, February, March, April, May of 2006. So if those 2 years are to be believed, 2004 for version 2, 2006 for version 3, then I only lost control of the game for 2 years. I thought it was a lot longer. Like in my mind's eye, it's like 5 years, 4 or 5. But, you know, I was younger then. Hey, we learned a brand new spell. Not a scroll this time, an actual spell. Quest spell. If we have 8 intelligence, we can cast that. And what does it do? Doubles all experience we earn through combat for 30 turns. Well, not double experience you earn through spellcasting or other sources. We haven't had that keyboard lock up in a while, thank God. Anyways, so it may have been as little as 2 years that we lost control of the game, but I was younger, and back then 2 years would have seemed longer. I know that's a cliche thing to say, and if you're a younger viewer, let me just tell you, it's really weird when you get older. Like, a year or two now is the blink of an eye. It used to be, you know, I can remember when I entered university and I had a 4-year university degree ahead of me, you know, university courses, thinking, holy shit, 4 years is so long, it will effectively be forever. Not in a bad way. I was looking forward to it. I liked university. I was like, this is great. I'll be here forever. Of course, it then ended, and then I've gone through many 4-year cycles of life since. So let's bring our 30 gold over to him and see what we can buy, if anything. Weird Bane padded armor for 30 gold pieces? Yeah, we can afford it. Let's get it. Yes. And he disappears. He'll only sell you one thing. Let's go to our inventory. What is Weird Bane padded armor? It's light armor. It has defense of 2. And it has +2 defense versus aberrations. That gelatinous cube is an aberration, but unfortunately it's an aberration that automatically hits, so our defense is not going to help us there. But we'll nonetheless wear it. It's better armor than we had. Let's go grab this gold and see if we can get anything off that potion merchant. Oh, interesting. No. Okay. Oddly, probably because the code was in place. I'm going to come back to what I was talking about with years in a minute, but because the code was in place, you've noticed when we stepped on the potion, it's like, do you want to drink this potion? Potions are not an inventory item. For some reason at this stage of the game, possibly through all of Caverns 1, I don't know. Maybe. But potions you can't pick up and carry with you. You have to drink them on the spot. So when we ask him to sell us something, I don't know. Let's go try it. What does it hurt to try? Here to learn about what this ancient game was like. Oh, we can buy different versions. Press the first letter of the desired potion or any other key for nothing. That's interesting. And it will use it immediately. That's right. It would, if I used it, it would be like, okay, that's that. We don't want anything he's selling. That's interesting. So he kind of functions like a potion merchant would now. But if we step on this, it's not like we pick it up. Yeah, so you want to drink it there? Yes or no? Interesting. Anyways, yeah, timing, I mean, 2 years it may have seemed like forever to me back then. Nowadays, I barely noticed the passage of 2 years. Anyways, so it's, if we have the timings right, 2004 is when we used, when we made the last of the DOS versions. 2006 is when we regained control of the game and made the, I shouldn't have done that. I should have fought him for a little while. And if my health got low enough, then gone and grabbed that. That was dumb. Oh well. 2006 was when we made version 3, and this version 4.43 was made. Pardon me. Pardon me. Son of a gun. Was made in January of 2010, if the date of the executable is to be believed. Now, 2010 is also, to the best of my recollection, when we stopped working on Caverns of Xaskazien. So version 5 would be later the same year. So we're getting towards the end of the development of the game for sure. At this stage in the development, I was working on it fairly regularly. Like, I think there was a period in time where I made it a rule in my life that I work on it every single day to advance it, and that may have been this year. I don't know. That little bracket, person beside the health, whoa, there's a lot of shit here, is not something that would have been in version 3. Version 3 did differentiate, like an elf, for instance, still had its bonuses against undead and its penalties against goblinoids, but they weren't called specifically undead or goblinoids then. It just listed, here's some monsters, which were all undead type monsters we would understand, as we would understand it. But it didn't actually say bracket undead. This is the first version, like version 4-ish. To the best of my knowledge, it's the first time it ever does that. Despite all our spell points and shit, I think we're, I don't know if we can fight all these guys and live. The Wraith is going to drain our experience. I mean, if he's going to do it, now's not too bad a time, because we don't have that much experience. I didn't notice what we need to hit him. Let's try and kill him with some magic missiles. So we have a 40% chance to hit him. He has a 20% chance to hit us, but we're going to watch our experiences go down here. He hit us for 3 damage. And it went down by 2 points. I don't know if it's random then. Alright, it's dead. So he only got 2 experience points. That's good. That's a Hellhound down there. Let's look at it. Does 1 extra damage after each round of combat because it's breathing fire. There was no differentiation in any of the Caverns versions 1, like Caverns of Xaskazien 1. There was no differentiation between different elemental damage types. It's not until Caverns 2 came along we start differentiating that, and it's not until the very next update we'll be putting out in a little while, in the next week or two, that those elements take on a lot more aspects. That elemental damage becomes a much greater, has much greater effects in the next update coming out. They have much greater differentiation. They do different things now. That's a layer. Square provides the option of entering a new random map at the same dungeon level, populated entirely by one specified type of monster and containing no healing potion. So you're not guaranteed a healing potion if you go into a layer, the way you are with a normal level. God damn. Leave me alone, ogre. Turn the volume up a little bit in my ears. I just turned it all the way down because I feel like I'm yelling. But at the same time, I need to hear fire before I step in it, say. Let's find out what this is. Uh-oh. Poison gas trap. Oh, shit. That's kind of interesting.
I don't feel so good.
Alright, so we're poisoned. We can now, you can see this here. We can query the poison. While poisoned, your character loses 1 health every 10 turns. Let's get rid of that right away. Cast Cure. We can't afford to let this guy drag us down, so let's magic missile him. Okay.
And that's how it's done. Alright, who's next?
There was a version of the game, like I have memories of distinct versions of the games that I no longer have access to, like even 3.21. 3.21, for instance, did have the effects we're seeing here, like where you choose your racing class and it has a unique ability associated. There was a version of the game where you could choose racing class and the only thing it did was affect your starting attributes, and I realized as I was playing that, although that was interesting at the start of the game, once you got beyond the first tiny bit, get back 21 health here. How much damage can each of these guys do? We're going to need that health potion soon, but let's see if we can go 1 round of combat. He could kill us 1 hit. He could kill us 1 hit. Let's go get that health potion. Shoot. Let's go see what the spell is, potential spell, before we fight these monsters, in case it's a spell we can use against them. It's a speed scroll. This is speed scroll. Well, let's look at them. Increases our speed beyond that of even the fastest monsters for 120 turns. So we'll be able to get away from these guys. We don't want to get away from these guys. Let's use our magic missiles, our remaining magic missiles, on this ogre. We can get off 6 of them, right? That's not bad. Alright, last one will kill him. Huh. Let's go intelligence again. Get some better spells happening here. No. Forgot we could do that, though. Ooh. Let's go blast him with a magic missile. No. No. Let's not do that. Can we kill him with a magic missile? Yes, we don't want to kill him yet. Let's grab this instead. No, let's not do this. I was wrong. I was going to go get this and cast the quest spell. I guess I can. But we're not going to want to kill him in combat anyway. We can't afford to stand here and go toe-to-toe with him, I don't think. Let's take a look at the situation. I should have lifted that up. He hits us 20% of the time. We hit him 40%. Well, maybe we could. We can get 16 experience value out of it if we kill him in the next 30 turns instead of 8. Let's try that. Cast. Quest. We could kill him with a magic missile, but then we don't get the double experience. Damn it. Well, if we don't kill him soon, we're not going to be able to use that lair. Come on, man. Something else you'll notice here is there's no indication of the fact that that quest spell is ongoing. I mean, it mentioned it's ongoing, but I mean, there's nothing on the screen to remind us, hey, you have a quest spell going.
Well, that wasn't so tough.
That's something we obviously change in, well, by the time we hit Caverns 2. In this version of the game, I probably just had nowhere to put that information. If you remember, like even in 1.13, when we cast Mage Armor, underneath our health, I think it said, or underneath our armor, it said Mage, and maybe it still does here, I don't know. But with Quest Spell, there was no indication visual that I could see. You'd think there'd be maybe this would turn yellow, or it would say Quest beside it or something, I don't know. That's what I would do now if I was working with this obsolete code. But I'm not. And again, nor could I. The code still only evolved. So whatever code... I still have code for Caverns of Xaskazien 1 somewhere. Yes, let's use that. But whatever code that is would be code for the last version I worked on, version 5 point some odd. I wouldn't have code for 4.43 anywhere that I know of. Maybe it's backed up somewhere. Who knows? I like this version though a lot. I think it's like I said, relatively stable. I don't think we've encountered this. Well, aside from the occasional keyboard freeze, which may or may not be the game, or maybe something new that's been introduced in later years. We've not encountered any bugs, and that one bug is fixable. A net trap. Oh, okay. The equivalent of a web trap. So, neat. We found 30 plus 90. As you can see, we're now caught in a great web. Net trap actually is, I don't know why I didn't call it a web trap. Stuck in it for a bit. I'm going to go get the chest before I get the coffin, because again, if we open that coffin and some powerful undead comes out, we're not going to want to be rushing around the level trying to get different, things while being chased. Oh, booby traps, acid spray, your dagger is melted. That's bad news. Found 100 gold pieces. We have no weapon. I don't think we have a backup weapon yet either, do we? Nope. So we are weaponless. As far as I remember, you do 1 damage plus your strength damage if you hit with no weapon. So instead of doing 1 to 4 plus potentially 1 to 3, we do 1 plus potentially 1 to 3. 1 plus a 30% chance of 1 to 3. That's what we do in this game. At this stage. That's shitty. Gems. We're almost up at another level. Let's go into the lair, because why not? Let's find out what the lair is, I guess, first. If it's filled with something we don't want to fight, we won't. What is the lair? Enter Bugbear hold. And now you can see, again, when we found a lair in version 2, it said enter tomb, and that's it. You knew nothing else. Here it tells us specifically. Leads to a new map at the same dungeon level, populated only by bugbears and containing no healing potions. So presumably if you stepped on whatever the tomb was, it would say enter tomb, and it would tell us what monsters occupy the tomb. In Caverns 2, as I think I've said, layers work differently in that they not only contain only one type of monster, they still do that, but they, oh interesting, I'll step off this for a second. But they also, now have different decor and different layouts and all kinds of things based on the monsters that occupy it. So that's a riddle to our east. If you remember, and we saw that in version 2, but in version 2 it was a static image. Now it's a little talking mouth. Our intelligence is pretty high. Let's step on it. Aw, fail. Only a 20% chance of failing, and we failed. And now you can see it's a silent, I think it's called a silent mouth. Yep. Square has no further effect. Oh, that's right, they're all only bugbears. I'm like, oh, there's a couple of bugbears here. Of course there are.
Take that. Take that.
Let's magic missile this guy, because we could kill him with a single spell. No.
Well, that wasn't so tough.
We're going to have to start using magic missiles, man. We can't afford to... We certainly can't afford to go toe-to-toe with these guys. Not with no weapon. They're going to kill us for sure.
One less to worry about.
Let's go with... health. Haven't done that in a while, and we're getting a little low. Alright, we could kill him. As soon as we get him down to 4 or less, we'll magic missile them until they're dead. Otherwise, we'll keep stepping off them and trying to get to you know, a mage potion or a... And you saw I got a second hit. I pressed the key too fast, but... yeah, hit the first hit and missed the second hit. Look for a dexterity potion or maybe... Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, we got to be careful, man. We are in trouble here. Okay. We can afford then to get these guys with magic missiles, as many as we can muster. They could kill us. No, they couldn't. Maximum they could do is 6 damage in a single turn. Fuck, I gotta hit better than that.
And stay down. Now.
Good.
Hey, I'm good at killing.
Alright, that's all the bugbears that are around here. Let's cast healing. Yes, we want this.
I don't feel...
Oh no! It's poison. And we don't have spells to cure ourselves. This could be the end, guys. Let's do our best to find a curative potion or another mage potion, or barring that... Let's grab this in case we have to leave the level. Barring that, we want the stairs to go to the next level so we can get our spell points back and cast Cure. This damn bugbear holding this tricky mage potion. I think we're in trouble, guys. Do we have anything we can use in our inventory? That's right, we do have an inventory now. I mean, we could use, let's just use it for the sake of it. Let's left click the speed scroll. Okay. It won't help with the poison. It's not like we actually move too square. I think it's just, you move faster in relation to monsters. What it really did was this is the same way it works in Caverns 2 today, and I intend to change this eventually. I just haven't got around to it. But it makes the monsters really move at half speed is what it really does. I think we're dead, guys. That's that. As you can see, we now get a map of the level when we die. There was a dexterity potion. That's what this... Can we query stuff when we're dead? I'll try it in a minute. Because it might be as soon as I use the mouse, it ends the game. There was a potion merchant up here. There was a curative potion if we'd have kept going. If we could have got up there. Oh well. This would have... I'm going to right click. I think this is a dexterity potion. This is a booby trap. We can see that now. This would have been something. I don't know what. No, you can't query stuff. In this version of the game, you can't query stuff when you're dead. Okay, that was it. That was version 4.43. We've only got one version left to take a look at. Oh, now it locked me out of the keyboard again. Isn't that just flawless? All right, I'm going to get out of here in 2 seconds and I'll quit. Only got one version of the game left to look at before we start looking at the modern version of the game. There is, if you're curious about Caverns 2, there already is a Let's Play, a developer Let's Play of Caverns of Xaskazien 2 online. You can find it. That was me, but that was 5 years ago. The game has evolved very significantly since 5 years ago, which is part of the reason why it's time for another one. But go ahead and find it if you want to. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I guess I can't quit until I find a way out of this. So I'm just going to say goodbye, and I'll edit this out. See ya.